Howdy folks, welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie and this is my little crafty nook. And today we're going to work on the first couple of fins of the Mermazing album. And let's get started on page number 1. Well, fin number 1. Let me get all these. I did some advanced work just to save a little bit of time. These are 110-pound cardstock sheets. And the dimensions are 4 3/4 by 5 3/4 and 4 3/4 inches square. We're going to score the larger one. If I can find my scoring tool, I'll use my folder here. We're going to score this larger one at 1/2 inch and 4 3/4. No, I'm sorry, 5 1/4. This is why I wanted my scoring tool. It's easier to do this with my scoring tool. And let's go ahead. Normally I would fold toward the dented side, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this direction. Let's go ahead and taper these, because these are going to be pocket pages. We will have inserts that slide in and out, and that'll just help with the inserts. Let's try fit this. Wow, that did not line up where it should. So let me see if I can get. I need to take just a sliver off the 4 3/4. Let me see if I rotate a little bit, if that helps. Found my scoring tool. Yay! So for page number 1, we're going to have a couple of flaps and a pocket and a folio. This is going to be the flap on. This is going to be mounted next to the spine of the album. So the dimensions on this are 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. I'm going to flip this around. We're going to score the 3 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch. We also are going to have a pocket, and this measures, see, this is going to be a pocket from top to bottom. It's going to open on the side and measures 2 1/4 by 5 3/4. We're going to score the 2 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and the 5 3/4 inch side we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And I figured out what the issue was with the pages, so I'm actually going to fold that under, and then I'm going to score at 4 3/4. And hopefully that will fix the problem. So let me dry fit this to the page. Let's see if this is going to fit from top to bottom. That is going to work. So yay, that solved that problem. And then we've got a unique little, well, not really unique, I've done this before, but a different little flap. And we're going to score this at, it measures 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. We're going to score the 4 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then at the 1 inch mark, let me get a pencil so that I can erase it if I want to. Okay, so 1 inch from the score line, so that'll be at 1.5 inches. I'm going to make a little mark. You know, I think I want to come out a little bit farther than 1 inch. I think I want to come out 1.5 inches. No, 1.25 inches. We're going to come out here. I'm just going to make a mark. We can erase that. And it's 4 3/4, which the halfway point is 2 3/8. Yeah, 2 3/8. So I'm going to make a mark right there. And now, fingers crossed, I'm going to align this so that the center dot here is aligned with the blade, and the dot at 1 3/4 is aligned with the blade. And sorry, I'm going to have to get my head in the shot to make sure that these are lining up. That looks good. And cut. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. I'll align both marks with the blade and cut. So now we're going to have a little tab that has a little bit of an arrow shape, and we're going to mount something there to assist with the closure. onto page number 2. Just a little bit of a mishap with the measurements there. That was easily enough fixed. And I've gone ahead and I've marked the top and the spine. Hopefully that will prevent me from mounting anything upside down or on the wrong side. No guarantees. If y'all have been watching my videos long enough, you know that there's about a 50-50 shot I'm going to mount something upside down. And we're not going to be able to complete the entire base page because there are some elements that are going to require the mats to be done, and I'm not ready to do that just yet. So this page is going to have one full-size mat that's going to go the entire side of the page, and underneath we're going to have a pocket. And then over the top, we're going to have another mat that comes down, but this is where we're going to have to wait to get everything glued down. We're going to have belly bands here, and there will be a sliding shaker element that moves up and down to secure this top flap. But we're not going to be able to secure the belly bands until we have the mats and we have the shaker element done. But we can mount one side of them. So let's go ahead and let's get this flap mounted. We're going to score the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and glue that down, and then this top flap here is 4 3/4 by 3 inches. We're going to score the 3 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then this pocket we're going to score the 5 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and 5 1/4, and then we're going to score the 2 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. So we're going to make a U-shaped score mark. And these belly bands are 1 inch wide by 5 3/4 inches tall. And we're going to score the 5 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch and 5 1/4 on both of these. Moment of truth. Can I get this mounted in the album as is? And I'm leaving these loose because this is where we're going to slide the shaker element on here, and on top, in addition to that, we're going to need to map this section here before we can glue these down, and that'll be in an upcoming video. So I've not done this type of page before. Most of my pages, you glue it down on this side, then you glue it down on this side, or you glue one flap down on this side, one flap down on this side, then you have the section in the middle. This one is a pocket page, and it's going to have an insert. Actually, let me make sure I've got this facing the right way. It's going to come out here, actually. 3rd time's a charm. So let's go ahead and we're going to add double-sided tape to the edge of the fin on both sides. I'm going to taper these. I said I wasn't going to. I am going to. I think that will just help me get this page down. I bet it'll be easier to put, at least get the page mounted to the spine without anything on it. So let's go ahead and let's try it that way and see how that ends up working. Okay, well that was a case of I thought I was recording and wasn't recording. So that did go a little bit better from experience. Well, minimal experience that I've had so far just with this album. The easiest thing that I found to do is if you've got this Cricut weeding tool, go in and pry it up, and then once you've got it pried up and you've got your hook underneath it, just rotate that hook around to snag it and pull the release tape out. Okay. Page number 3 is going to be a combination of a couple of things. So we're going to have a small waterfall and a gatefold and a flap. So the flap measures 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. We're going to score that at 1/2 inch. The gatefolds are going to mount on top of the flap, and they measure 2 7/8 by 4 3/4. We're going to score the 2 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then the waterfall pieces, I forget what the measurements are. They are 3 1/2 squared. Was originally going to do a pull down waterfall, and if I'd made this album an 8 by 8 album, I probably would do the pull down waterfall. Since it's kind of small and the pull down mechanism seems to be a little bit much for this small footprint. So let's go ahead and score the flap, the gatefold, and the waterfall. You know what? The waterfall's going to have to wait. We'll score it and we'll secure it in here temporarily with a little paper clip, but it's going to have to wait until after we do the matting. And there is a little something that I do want to do with the waterfall. I'm going to try this and see how this works. My thought is to go ahead and attach the waterfall to a small piece of a 65-pound cardstock and get everything lined up, and then trim the sides because I want the waterfall to actually be 3 by 3. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to leave this final magnet loose, not taped down, because it's actually going to be adhered to the waterfall, which we're not mounting in here yet, but I'm going to go ahead and prep it. Here is my idea, because I am constantly struggling with waterfalls that aren't lined up properly. So I'm going to glue these down to this scrap piece of paper. That is step number 1. And I don't know if it's because there's something with the scoring that's causing it to be off, or if it's the cutting. Probably the cutting. But it annoys me. So I thought I would give this a shot and see if I'm happy with the result. My main concern is that I'm adding a little bit of extra bulk, and I'm not sure how that's gonna look on the finished page. As long as it looks okay, I'm okay with it. And I don't think this would work, at least not perfectly, if I had more than 4 or 5 waterfall pieces. And now I've got glue right there. Ugh. That's going to be covered with a mat, so that's okay. Okay, I'm going to trim off all this extra here. Okay, so now I've got a loose floating waterfall. Now I'm going to bring it over so that the edges are at, got it at roughly 3 7/8 there. And now we're going to go to roughly 3 1/4. So the waterfall is assembled. I just have to glue it down and mat it. and the magnet will be attached to this top piece here. For right now, I'm just going to paper clip this to that page. Actually, I'm gonna paper clip it there. That way that whole thing gets held shut. So we're on to the 4th page, and this is something I have also not done. So we've got a little cascade that we're going to do, which is different from a waterfall because a waterfall is all in a row, and a cascade to me goes in a diagonal. So these will be arranged this way on the page. We've also got a gatefold, and the closure method on the gatefold is going to be a little bit different than anything I've done yet. Seen it done many times, have not done it myself, so I'm going to give it a shot. The first thing to do, we're going to score these at, we're going to score the 2 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then these are actually going to be pockets, but they're going to be, and I think I'm going to have to adjust the measurements because I don't think it needs to be. I think it needs to be 3 and, is it 3 3/8? Oh, they are 3 3/8. Okay, they're 3 3/8 by 3. They're already cut to that. So we're going to score 1/2 inch around each edge. But you know what? I think we are going to have to cut down. I think we're going to cut these down to 2 7/8. Yes, we are. So let's cut these down to 2 7/8, and then we're going to score everything. Okay, so I lied. These are going to be 2 7/8 inch all the way around. I'm actually going to score these, instead of scoring these at 1/2 inch, I'm going to score at 2 3/8 inches. And then at 1/2 inch. These two are going to get scored at 2 3/8 inches. These are going to be scored at 1/2 inch. These measure 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and we're scoring the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. So I think it's probably going to be easiest to create these pockets first, and I do want to mark these. I want to mark these at 1 inch and 1 7/8 inch. So I've got the score lines here and score line here, and it's marked at 1 inch. The score line here, and it's marked at 1 7/8 inch. And that is short enough that I could do this with my scissors. So I'm just going to align the scissor. Well, my scissors are just barely long enough to get that. The trick is not to wobble the scissors while you're cutting. I'm going to line these up just to see if they're, oh, they are pretty even, so I'm happy with that. Now we're going to secure this to the flap. And we're only going to secure 2 sides. Just checking to see if there's any overlap. That actually looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to mount that in there just yet because I want to get the other side done and then assemble it all at one time.